Well, howdy there, folks. How's it going today? I hope you're all doing really good. Well, me and Oliver are out in the shop here, and we are going to get back onto this Patscaster maybe later today. This is the one I was working on in the last video. Just really going to focus on the neck now and knock down the rest of the high frets and just take some of the sharp edges off where I pressed them back down. But today we are revamping the shop. So as you can see, I have quite the disaster going here. The benches are trashed, and I just can't work like that anymore. So I'm going to redesign the workbenches, and I picked up some new things for the shop yesterday in the big city. And let's start with this one right here. We got an electric hoist here. It's good for 440 pounds. And it cost me $100 at Harbor Freight. It's got a tethered remote, which is kind of handy. So I don't recommend picking your amps up by the handle. I do have a, get a piece of rope, or I have a big choker here, or a strap, if you will. And, that'll work fine. I guess you could lift it up just a little bit with the handle, but I don't trust them. So just for demonstration purposes, I'll show you what we got going here. Here's your wide remote. You got up, down, right? There you have it. So the whole plan is I'm going to put it all up on this stand that I have here, which is at about, it's just above waist height, which will be a good height to work on this kind of stuff. I'm getting too old and messed up to be lifting these big heavy amps, so I think this will work great. I may come up with a different system for picking them too, something I could leave on there. It would be nice to have it just hooked to the handle. Maybe I'll make a special handle that I can take this one off and put something in there that's maybe steel or something, just so when I work on it, I could pick it up and not have a strap in front of the grill cloth or the amplifier section itself, the chassis, because, obviously that's what we want to pull out, and we're going to clean the pots and all that. So this is in the makings, but pretty slick for $100. Should work great. It also has multiple uses, doesn't it, Oliver? I bought some harnesses for the dogs that groomers will use, and I can actually pick the dogs up off the ground just a little bit to trim their nails and do whatever they need done. Okay, over to the bench here. Well, I invested in some magnetic tool strips at Harbor Freight. These are really heavy duty. I mean, I can almost pick that up without it coming off with all the tools on it. So that's going to help me out a lot. All this stuff's going. I'll probably leave a multimeter or something there. This is an old piece of vinyl siding J-channel, if you guys couldn't already tell. And I drilled holes in it and put screwdrivers in there, but it ends up just getting cluttered with guitar parts and whatever. So we're going to strip that off. I think I'll put a couple of these magnet strips up. And, then I can put my files on one and just the basic tools that I need, at the time. That way, I'll probably still keep some of them in the toolbox, but at least when I'm working on a guitar and, I'm just using a file, a little fret file and maybe a set of cutters, I can just have those tools there, or at least the access just to put them on the magnet and keep them off the bench. So I got these at Harbor Freight, U.S. General brand. They were $5 a piece. They're 18 inches long. Okay, so I bought a set of bull nips here, for doing clipping frets off and whatnot when you refret. My other ones were getting pretty worn out, so these were pretty cheap. I can't remember where I bought these. I think I got these at a store called Rennie's. People from Maine know what Rennie's is. It's kind of a You know, I don't know what you'd call it. They have quite a few of these stores in Maine. They call it a Maine adventure when you go to that store, or any of the stores, I should say. They basically just buy out stuff and, wholesale, and you never know what you're going to walk into in those stores. Kind of neat. So what I'll end up doing with these is probably filing or grinding these off a little bit more so they're more flat instead of rounded, but I think I paid $7 for these. I have some clamps made by this Tolson company too. It seems to be pretty good quality. Okay, so again at Rennie's, 99 cents for this super glue, and I really thought this was worth mentioning. It's quite a bit of glue, and that is the best super glue I've come across yet. It's thin, not super thin, but it's not like gel either. Gluology, check those out. Pretty good sized containers, and it bonds instantly. Not like most super glues say on the package that, this bonds instantly, and then it never does. You don't want to be fooling around when you get this stuff out, because that hits quick. Good stuff. And at that price, I had to buy 6 things of it, just because. It's cheap. Works good, though. Okay, so here's some other stuff. This was at the same store, Rennie's. They're touch-up markers for furniture. There's the colors. I figured this would be pretty cool for, touching up guitars. Here was another brand, Furnish, I guess you call it. Now, this has the little crayons, and it also has the markers, stain markers. So, again, pretty reasonable, $4. And I guess you get a polishing cloth with this one, or a bag, maybe both. In any case, I figured I'd give it a try. I'll let you guys know, what it's like when I do try it. I figured for $4, that's cheap. A lot of these stain markers are, $6 to $8 a piece that I've come across. Like these, Minwax. I bought this at a local place in town. I think it was like $7. You can probably get them cheaper, but it is good stuff. My father brought me out a multimeter too. He doesn't use it anymore, but it's definitely a better setup than my old Harbor Freight one, which still works good. I fixed the leads on it, but this will do a little bit more stuff, so thanks for that, Dad. Ugh, man, I got a long day ahead of me by the looks of it here. Oh, it's just tough. I've been working on it. I've been finding, jacks and pots, miscellaneous little containers with stuff in it. This is my little setup where I keep my glues and polish, guitar strings in there, which is a mess, but we'll get there, folks. So anyway, if you guys were wondering what this amp is, I figured I'd show it to you. This is a 1974 PV Classic. I am missing that little black disc that goes on the knob. That's how you can kind of date some of these, honestly, by the knobs. Now, really cool amp. I believe this is 40 watts. It's 2 12s, and it has a solid state input, and it has 2 6L6s for the output section of the amplifier. So it's a hybrid. And pretty early, I would say, for that kind of, setup. Again, this dated to around 74, so this was a pawn shop find. I bought this amplifier and a PV Heritage VTX series, which is around 1979, maybe 78, maybe 80. You'll see that one too. Bought both of these amplifiers for $240, which was a good deal. They weren't as clean as they look now, but in any case, I could see the potential, and I just thought it was a good deal. Okay, this one has Eminence speakers in it too. You can tell by the square magnets here. This is the back panel, as you can see. Got on, off, and a foot switch control, which I do not have, but I may either build one or buy one soon. So there's the two 6L6 tubes right here. I put the casters on. They're just locking, like, office chair casters that a friend of mine gave to me. I had a whole box of them. They're pretty heavy duty. I haven't broke any yet, at least, and it's nice to have this thing on wheels. Like I said, this one's not that heavy compared to the other 212 PV I have. That one's over 100 pounds or thereabouts. But I grew up playing PV Bandits and those kind of amps which we probably all did, and I wasn't a huge fan, but it did the trick and it was dependable. And I always wanted to try one of these, hybrids or tube setups that PV was doing, and I must say these are some of the best sounding amps I've ever heard from PV, other than, like the newer tube stuff. For this vintage PV, these are pretty good. Another notable one is the Deuce and the Mace. Alright, let's get the other magnet opened up here. I hate this packaging where they put stuff in plastic and then melt the edges. It's almost impossible to get into these things, but I think we're going to make it. Okay, let's start right here. I'm going to get rid of all this stuff right here along the wall behind this bench. And I think what I'll do is probably mount a bar magnet over here, maybe one on this side. I'll probably leave that multimeter here and take the other one over to the other bench. I'm going to try to kind of set up two workstations, if you will. I may set the other bench up for doing soldering and whatnot, and maybe keep this one for doing like fret work and repair work. So in any case, this stuff's got to go. All right, take a good look, because it's all going to change. Yep, I went to that show, Van Halen, Tuesday, October 30th, 2007. It was an amazing show. David Lee Roth actually did an amazing job too. Sometimes you'll see him live. He doesn't really, deliver the lyrics like the records, and I get that, but that night it sounded like they were lip syncing or something. It was that good. Really cool. You can't buy that in Maine. Anybody else there ever play Black Diamond strings? Yeah. This is Gibson. The old cat. He's already all over the clean space, as you can see. He is checking out the wall, though. He's like, hey, what's going on here? All right. You got to get off, Gibbs. You're back, huh, Gibbs? All right, I'll give you a couple of hugs here and pats behind the ear. There you go. Don't bite. Gibson, no. I'm trying to take a screw out here, dude. You be easy. All right. He doesn't bite too hard. He's pretty crazy, though. All right, we got one of the magnet tool holders screwed to the wall on the back side of the bench here. I think I'm going to put another one on this side over here, too. I may even just, butt right up to that one and just run it right straight across, and that should do the trick. Alrighty. Yeah, I think I'll just put one right, butted right up to the other one. Yeah, there's 3 feet of magnet right there. That's pretty decent. I may get some more of these, actually. It's just an easier way to organize things, you know, and if you need to hang on to a screw or something for a second. I even thought these may be handy for doing soldering and stuff, you know. Maybe screw onto a board or something. Set your pot on there, maybe. I don't know, something to think about. All right, I'm going to get a screw in the other end of this one. And for you folks that have visual impairments on the channel, just to kind of let you know what's going on. It's basically pretty boring stuff, but I've been just kind of shooting stills of the process as I've been cleaning the bench off and whatnot. And I just wanted to kind of clarify that to you. So anyway, let's put some tools on there and see what it looks like. All right, here we go. I'm going to look at each side. Yeah, they're the same. Sometimes on like pliers and stuff, there'll be a flat side on one side and the other side could be rounded. So, you know, kind of like this stuff. So anyway, I thought I was going to need like double layers of it, but it really isn't going to do me much good because, you know, even a small set of cutters like that, there's only so much exposed metal, and you know, I'm getting 3/4 of it with that that magnet. Gibson, come on, dude. All right, well, he's not going to leave, so I do apologize if he's in the way once in a while. All right, I'm just putting some basic stuff on here that I use a lot. They said, yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to leave this just as, you know, a bench to do like electrical work and soldering or not, but we'll see. It's all an experiment. Yeah, what do you think of that, Gibson? Now, obviously, you can't put stainless steel on there, but I got a bunch of files here, which I do use quite often, so I want to get those out here in the mix. I guess that's the best way to do that. This is going to be a lot better for me. There's no question about it. I'm pretty bad at putting tools back, and I'm usually working on 2 or 3 different things, so, you know, that's just what it is. Sorry for that dark lighting there. I didn't realize the video was changing. It was a little bit dark. I noticed it brightened up when I turned the camera. Okay, again, just some miscellaneous stuff. I do recommend getting yourself some good files. I have all kinds of files, every shape and size that you could possibly need. Mill files are pretty common. That's something that you will definitely be using. I try to stick with the fine-tooth ones. Those seem to be the best, or at least the most useful to me. More flat files. Yeah, I am missing one of my flat files, though. I'm going to try to find that. It's a little short flat file that I have used on every single fret job I've done. It's like a 6-inch file, maybe 4 inches. It's about worn out, but it deserves to be on the bench. Gibson's probably laying on it. All right. A few more additions. I'm going to put just some basic screwdrivers and stuff on here that I use all the time too, and you know, just some quick go-to tools. And also, as I go along, you know, I may only just get out the tools I need and set one magnet up just for that, you know, and then I can just work off that one little section behind the instrument. Should help me out as far as keeping my tools in order and just able to find them. I have a ton of tools in the shop, and sometimes it's easier to just go buy a new tool set than it is to try to find the tool you're looking for. I have it somewhere. It's just, finding it. Well, we better put a couple of truss rod wrenches on there, Gibson. I believe these are stainless, so no, they actually do stick. All right, my little slide rule and my other rules. That's definitely something that you use a lot when you're checking action and stuff like that. Wow, I've got these pretty much full already. I should have bought like 4 more of them. Oh well, that's just the way it goes. Lesson learned. These are handy though, and like I said, man, they got a good amount of power to them as far as holding your stuff on there. I mean, I don't think it's gonna fall off there. You got to actually pull and tug on it to get it off there. So anyway, I thought I'd share that with you guys as far as the magnets. Now I got to kind of sort a few more things out that I'll probably need, and see if I can get Gibson to move. You gonna move? No? Alright. The little Allen wrenches you use to adjust your saddles on your Strats and Tellys that you can never find? That's worth $5 just to have those hooked to that magnet. That's a true story. Found this when I was cleaning the bench. Kind of neat. It's a music note. That's lead, not metal. You can bend it really easy. And I checked it on the magnet. And these are glass. As far as I can tell, these little red things here in the music note itself, and the little circle. Kind of cool. I guess you'd hang it in your window. I don't know. What do you think, Gibson? Well, I better put my calipers on here. That's something you definitely use. Gibson, no biting. Got a set of undersaddle string gauges here. Tells you, they're different radiuses, obviously. And I don't use them all the time, but, that does take the guesswork out of it for sure. If you want to just reference it or whatever, a lot of times I'll do it according to the way I want the guitar to play, that kind of thing. It's just really personal, but that can make it a lot faster as far as, setting the string heights, and usually it's a lot quicker. Like I said, you don't have to keep messing with the up and down on your saddles, trying to get rid of the bars and all that kind of stuff. You can kind of just use that as a quick reference and get you going. All right, on the magnet they go. Another must-have, this little razor blade holder. Makes it a lot easier on your fingers if you're doing a lot of scraping. If you're inside an acoustic guitar or something, it is a little safer. And just kind of clamp in there. I'm guessing that was under $1, but I use this thing all the time, so on the magnet it goes. How you doing, Gibson? You all done biting me and attacking me? He's pretty tired. He acts out when he gets tired. He gets on the bench and knocks stuff off the bench, like screws and whatever he can find. I think he just does it for attention. Check out his stinger on his nose. It's like the back of a headstock. Yeah, he's tired. He's just resting his chin on my finger. He's a pretty cool cat. Sometimes it's, you never know what you're getting with a cat, honestly, because they could be really friendly or they could just be a cat and do whatever they want, He kind of checks both boxes, but he really does seek human companionship, if that makes sense. They're pretty friendly. He's got some Maine Coon cat in him. And they're known to be dog-like, which he really is. He hangs right out with the dogs constantly, like just as buddies. All right, you really got to get off the bench now, though, dude. I'll get you on a blanket or something. Your old Jim Dunlop string winder. I've had that since I was probably 13, 14 years old. I wonder if he made any money on those. We can't leave this out. The old golf club drink stirrer here. Vintage. I use this in a lot of videos, just pointing stuff out, but it's become part of the channel, so I think we'll put that up here in a nice little safe environment. There. Well, since I have not stopped really thinking about using these magnets to, set up pots and solder on, I'm going to try one. Here's a push-pull. Oh, yeah. Without a doubt. I got to get some more of these. That's perfect. I mean, hold everything in place, and that'll make my life a lot easier. I do have the octopus, flexible, these things. Looks like Medusa on a stand with the little, alligator clips on them, which are handy. But a lot of times, really it's just about holding it flat like this so you can access the terminals to solder on. And you'd be able to twist it too. Yeah, I'm down. That'll be in another video, maybe. All right, well, that's a start. I still have stuff on this side of the bench to clean up, and I haven't even started over here yet. I'm not going to bore you with the rest of that video in this video, but when you see this place again, it's not going to look like this. He might be on the bench, but, hopefully there's a guitar on one of them and him on the other. All right, guys. Well, thanks again. I thought I'd just kind of share some of this stuff with you. I'm just trying to make life simpler here for me. And I just thought this was a good idea. I've seen a lot of other, channels where guys have these set up like this. I think it's the way to go, definitely. It gained a lot more area here on the bench for me already. And I have an instant visual at the tools. I don't have to go to the toolbox and go through the drawers and that kind of thing. So eventually I'll get it kind of honed in here and, have certain tools for this bench. And I think I'll set the other one up the same way and have, certain tools for different operations over there. Well, thanks for tuning in, folks. I thought I'd, just go over a few of these things. The super glue is definitely a must-have. Like I said, this is the well, look, it's stuck to the box even. You don't want to get that on your fingers, and you want to make sure you're ready to go when you stick stuff together with that. Gluology. No, I'm not endorsed by them, but if they want to send me some glue, I'll plug it on the channel forever. It's great stuff. Well, okay, folks, I got to get old Gibbs off the bench here and keep going, and we'll see you guys real soon. Okie doke.